Before we begin, thank you very much to Original Armada Hotshot is the best of all time for joining the Patreon campaign. Someone paid money just to get me to say this. And yes, the Original Armada Hotshot is the best of all time for being, as in, like, it is the best Original Armada Hotshot there ever was. The Original Armada Hotshot is the best at being the original Armada Hotshot. Good for it. Not many can say that. So, with that out of the way, we need to discuss Astrotrain today. Because we've been talking about Astrotrain quite a bit lately. You probably know why. But now we just need to take a look at this boy's history because it ain't been pretty. So what you're looking at on screen is something that's very rare for me to talk about, which is a third-party toy. So this is MechFan Toys Steel Ambition, a repaint of their Iron Sky figure. And it's just a third-party Astrotrain at the third-party Legend scale. And, you know, this should be as simple as that, and in a way it is as simple as that. So, if you didn't see the Orlando Adventure video, during my Transformer toy hunting, I happened across this. And I normally avoid third-party stuff, but for some reason, I was really in the mood to get a good-looking Astrotrain. And out of everything that I have messed with, everything that I brought home, all the toys and all the playthings that I've been messing with since coming home, both things I got in Orlando and things that have come in since. Nothing has compared to the amount of time I am spending with this boy. Because it's just that well done. Look at me, look at this, look at this. The robot mode looks perfect. Like, it genuinely does. And then you get to the vehicle modes, and the train mode is perfect. Looks amazing. The shuttle mode, it's got that boxiness to the front half, but that's screen accurate. Remember, Season 2 character. All the models that they were using for the show were actually a lot more toy accurate than Season 1. And that included Astrotrain. I wish his midsection was covered up a little bit better. It gives him this, like, narrow section of his shuttle mode that looks a little bit odd. I would assume in a larger toy that would be pretty easily handled by, like, maybe his chest sliding down or double hinging over it to close it up. Point being, this looks so much better than the Astrotrains we have been discussing recently. And the shocking thing about this is it's just using the G1 transformation scheme, but modernized. Like, literally, like, the legs do everything the original one did with just like a switch up so that it can have ankle tilt and proper feet. The upper body is basically doing what the original toy did, except it's using mass from the actual vehicle mode to make the arms. And I just screamed to the heavens that Hasbro and Takara were supposedly the best toy engineers in the world for shape-changing robots, going, why is it hard? The answer is right there. You got it right the first time. Now, we could make this argument for a lot of triple changers outside of, like, Springer. I think there's an argument to be made for a lot of the triple changers never really having toys that are, like, all around impressive. But I feel like Astrotrain is specifically worth pointing out because he is a tube that transforms into a tube with wings. So this really shouldn't be difficult. Let's look at a history, shall we? Just so we're kind of on the same page with what's going on with this character. Going back to the original toy. And again, like, it's really not doing anything wrong. You know, aside from the tiny little T-Rex arms, the toy looks fine. The train mode looks good. The shuttle mode looks boxy, but overall still looks fine. You know, like, out of all of the triple changer toys, we tend to commonly agree in the fandom that Astrotrain definitely suffers the least for the gimmick. You know, he doesn't have big chunks hanging down under his wings. He doesn't have, like, this vestigial arms off the side of his vehicle mode. He's just a nice looking toy in all three modes. But the video is about how every Astrotrain toy has been done wrong. So we also need to look at the long history of this toy in particular. So obviously it's not screen accurate. You have bits of black in there, especially in the train mode. You've got white predominantly in the robot and shuttle modes. These are not accurate colors. Now, it's weird because it seems like Hasbro kind of went like a half and half route. So obviously the purple comes from the look that they went for on the cartoon. However, if we look at the Japanese toy, they had the white. And that's basically where we get our Astrotrain from. This weird little mix between the original Takara colors and the colors that were show accurate. So, I really wish they had just done this, to be honest with you. I feel like purple's a little bit overdone in G1 Transformer Decepticons. I could have done with just a black and white Decepticon, but this was the era. We talked about this era that Hasbro had in the 2000s where they were scared of any monochrome toy. Apparently that began in the 80s because they just could not release Astrotrain in white and black, even though it makes both of his vehicle modes look so much better. Oh my god. I hate to tell you, locomotives don't come in purple. They just don't. I'm sorry. It's the truth. And that space shuttle in the white and the black looks spot on. Like okay, there's a little bit weirdness thanks to the transformation, but like it looks nice. It looks way better and more accurate. And frankly, like it would have separated him from Blastoff a lot more. This is what we should have gotten, and it's weird that they changed it up. Now, I point to the purples being show inspired because well, frankly, they did have that opportunity, or at least it seemed like they did. So it could be show inspired, or it could be inspired by the original prototype, which is where the show got its colors from. The original prototype for Astrotrain actually has a lot of things different to it. Aside from the fact that, yeah, these are screen accurate colors, whether this is based on the character model that they were going with in the cartoon, or the opposite way, where the character model got its colors from the prototype, it's a little bit lost to time. We're not going to find that one out. The point being is, you notice the other thing aside from the color scheme? The arms extend. Like the one flaw the original G1 Astrotrain really has are the stubby little arms. Well, they were fixed. For some reason, they had this solution, they had a thing, and they threw it away. For whatever reason, they decided not to have I don't know why they did this. I assume maybe the arms are a little bit too small for it. Maybe it made them a little bit fragile. Genuinely don't know. Either way, it definitely harms the overall toy to not have that. And it's kind of shocking that it was part of the plan and then got scrapped. Shocking that the color scheme was correct and then got scrapped. Like, now I'm not sure why they changed it to the white and the short arms. Also, ignore the weaponry. Yes, it's from Blitzwing. I don't know why. No one knows why. The weird thing is, even when they actually got around to doing screen-accurate Astrotrain from the G1 mold, thank you, eHobby, they still got it wrong. Because the gray is fine. The gray is fine. What is that purple? The purple is leaning far closer to pink than it is the purple from the cartoon. So now, like, we have a sort of screen accurate Astrotrain, but sort of not. I sort of feel like I need to, like, splice him with a reissue US color Astrotrain to get, like, the actual Astrotrain I'm supposed to get. It's bizarre. It's a really weird choice. So, like, even in redecos, they can't get G1 Astrotrain right. Like, aside from just, like, nerfing what it could have been, they also decided, we're never going to repaint this toy and anything looks good. We're going to give you a reissue that looks like the original Japanese release in the real world colors, but we're not going to give you screen accurate. No. You gotta fish for that. You gotta customize that yourself. They at least gave you one you could customize into that. You remember this nightmare? Now, when this Platinum 2-pack came out, we could kind of understand what they were going for with the Blitzwing. We kind of sussed it out that it was an homage to the Duocon flywheels. Weird homage to go for, but that's kind of what we assumed. The Astrotrain always escaped us. Like, it's supposedly we kind of figured out, like, someone suggested that it was based off of, oh my god, what were they called? Like, 2 members of the Landcross team. Like, someone suggested that. And, like, okay, maybe, but it feels like a big stretch. It feels like a huge stretch. Either way, it's, like, easily the worst looking Astrotrain. We're going to put it that way. That's unfortunately the history of the G1 Astrotrain mold. Like, in that realm of, like, cartoon accurate redecos that they were doing at Walmart, they never got around to Astrotrain before that line kind of dried up, which is a shame, because I would have loved for them to take an actual stab at it. Now, if we look at the other molds for Astrotrain that we've gotten over the years, we can discuss where they've gone wrong as well. Now, I can go ahead and tell you, just because it was done weird or there's wrong things about it does not necessarily mean it's a bad toy. This is the Henkei release of Astrotrain, and I love this toy. I love the Classics Astrotrain mold. I think this is a really, really fun figure. I like the transformation to it. The 2 modes are very distinct from each other. I think more distinct than the originals were. We do acknowledge the elephant in the room. That shuttle has Bullet Train hanging off of it, which looks weird. It blends in weirdly enough, especially on this version where the paint is really doing a lot of heavy lifting to make that blending work. You still see a Bullet Train stuck to a space shuttle, but at least it's giving it its all in the process. And then you do have the Bullet Train where it's got a weird lump on its back. It's boxy in the back because of the wings. So it's clearly not. And then that midsection that doesn't have anything underneath it, and the windows kind of stop working. The windows vanish from existence. It's a weird figure, but I actually think the figure is fun. I like this figure a lot. I think the transformation on it is really, really neat. You know, it's not overly complicated, as a lot of triple changers ended up being down the road. It's just a nice figure to pick up, fool around with, and put down. It's kind of like what I've been doing with my new third-party Astrotrain. I will defend this figure all chances that I get. Out of the Classics line, I think this is the figure that ages the best, second only to Mirage. Because that Mirage just defies time. That Mirage is amazing. But even this one is just weird. Now, I can give them all the leeway in the world because they were just now doing G1 designs again in 2006. And man, like, they just decided, let's just do a triple changer just for fun. And you know what? I think they pulled it off. Is it weird? Yes. But I still like it. Weird doesn't mean bad. Now, weird bad ends up being the Siege Astrotrain. So they finally went with something trying to be a little bit more show accurate. So he's a big heavy set robot. He doesn't have any like weird kibble you wouldn't expect in the robot mode. So in that sense, they got everything right. And then there's everything else that was weird about this toy. You had a train mode that was okay, but weirdly flat and had a tiny little front end that I never really liked the look of. You had that shuttle mode. I think when we kind of like get frustrated at Siege Astrotrain, it always comes down to the shuttle mode. I think anytime we get frustrated with an Astrotrain, it comes down to the shuttle mode. In this one in particular, like a lot of the hollowed bits of the Siege mold just end up very like pointed up and exposed, meaning it just looks really bad from all angles. It looks like 2 halves of a different ship. Right? It looks like the armor section of the rear half got blown off. Like, okay, someone either set the wrong pressure in the shuttle or an alien attacked. One or the other. But the back half is gone, and we are now officially in, like, like a dramatic like suspense movie about astronauts stuck in space with only half of a shuttle to work with to get back to Earth. It's either that or it looks like two different vehicles glued together in the middle. It's just, I don't know, it's incoherent. Like, it doesn't gel. It's rough. And then we have, of course, the caboose. It's not a caboose. It's supposed to be like a coal car. But, like, the box that it dragged along with it that was just full of guns. Why? That, like, I take a look at that and go, like, there's so many parts that could have gone to better engineering. Like, if you're just going to create this big shell, why not make it fit the shuttle mode and make that work? Like, if you're just going to make a removable piece that just does a thing, why not make the modes look better with it? Like, you couldn't even, like, it's like the lamest landing pad in the world in shuttle mode. And, like, it's just his box of guns. Astrotrain just had a box of guns. You know, he's a gun runner in this universe. I don't know. This one was always a mess. Keep in mind, this is Siege, so they had an out where they could have just made him Cybertronian, but they didn't. Instead, he is attempting to be the G1 toy. He's attempting to look a little bit more like an Earth vehicle. That's the mistake here. If they had just gone complete sci-fi with it, we could excuse a lot of stuff, but it doesn't seem like they were trying to do that. Thus, he ends up being just disappointing. And we go, can we try again? Sure. We'll try again. How do you like this one? I wish there was a better Astrotrain. I wish they would do a new Astrotrain toy. Well, that monkey paw keeps curling. Wow, that's curling a lot. So, where do we begin? These photos are at least a little bit better. The robot mode is transformed much more correctly. Like, the chest is actually folded down here. I don't like the junk that's hanging off the legs when it should be, like, all the way down the side. It's just kind of, like, hanging off behind his thigh for some reason. And we've got in-hand photos, thanks to, like, people who steal toys for a living. We don't seem to have any way of bringing that down to be the side of his leg like I was hoping. That's a little rough. The train mode in this is incorrect. That back end does push down a lot more to be a lot cleaner. So it looks, actually the train mode on this Astrotrain looks pretty good if I'm going to be completely honest. Like, it's actually doing nice things. It actually is a nice locomotive. I'm giving that one a complete pass. It's unfortunate that most people already saw the initial photos where it wasn't done correctly. And again, it comes down to that shuttle. That shuttle is just this massive box on the back end and a bunch of what looks like loose parts just nailed onto the side of the shuttle. It is arguable if this is better looking than the Siege figure or not. That is entirely up to your personal preference. But I do feel like there is a lot of flaws overall to this toy that does keep it from being like a full, honest-to-God upgrade of the Siege figure. You know, I would at the very least like the arms to not look super scrawny, as Astrotrain is supposed to have some bulk and some mass to him. That's the biggest crux to me right now. Like, I will deal with the weird shuttle and the big box behind him if you give me that good looking train mode, because I genuinely like the train better than the shuttle. We get a lot of shuttle transformers. We get very, very few locomotives. I like a locomotive. And then, yeah, the weird proportions in the robot mode where he just looks too skinny in a lot of spots. You know, I'm not sure it's an upgrade. I'm not sure. This is one of those things that makes me look at like the dramatic capture box that has an Astrotrain that's completely clean of all the Siege paint and make me go, it's looking better. It's looking better. Now, I do this video because it feels like every Astrotrain, even back to the G1, has been done wrong in one way or another. But truthfully, there is an Astrotrain that really commits no sins whatsoever. It is an Astrotrain that is perfectly fine for what it is. And it is an enjoyable toy. It doesn't do anything wrong. Looks fine in every mode. And that one is Titan's Return. Look at it. It's not doing anything wrong. Like, the robot mode is clean and looks good and is well proportioned. You might go like, well, the shuttle mode is okay-ish, but that train mode looks super weird. This version of the character is entirely Cybertronian in design. This is where the Siege figure failed, and this figure succeeded. So you can basically design him however you want, because that's just how he looks on Cybertron. Hence, we have a very different shuttle that is flatter and more reminiscent of the shuttles you would see in, like, the 86 movie, for instance, in season 3 of the original cartoon. So it makes a lot more sense for his vehicle mode. And then the train is a combat train, specifically, but you got to think, Cybertron has never been depicted to have railways of any kind, so just being like a super long vehicle kind of works. More importantly, they look very different from each other, and they transform completely opposite. Like, shuttle mode really is just lay him on his belly and flatten everything out. And then the train mode is split him and crunch him down vertically. So, yeah, I know it's just a retool of of a Sentinel Prime figure, but really that Sentinel Prime is a pre-tool for Astrotrain, because obviously those are his modes. And this one's fine. Like, when you take it away from, like, that restriction of, oh, it's got to look like the real world vehicles, turns out you can actually get away with a lot. Hence why the Siege figure frustrates me just a little bit. But yeah, that is our boy Astrotrain and his struggle to find a good toy even after, 40 years in this franchise. It's upsetting because we've seen it done so easily, and yet Hasbro seems to overthink the project. All you really need is to take that original engineering design and just streamline it for modern articulation and accuracy, and you've got a winning toy. I know you do. I've been playing with it for the last week. So, fingers crossed. We're running out of fingers on the monkey paw. Eventually, it's just going to be a fist that you will throw at Mark Marr's head and go, get it right this time, and you will get an ideal Astrotrain as a result. But as long as we have fingers to go, I am worried. And I feel like the fan talk over the new one is just going to get them to go, well, maybe we do have to do another Astrotrain next. He tends to be the most popular triple changer, so it is inevitable. So, what? How many? Is like, what, 7th time is a charm? But that's the discussion for the day. Let me know what you think of Astrotrain in the comment section below, whether it is like just the toys overall, or why it is that he just never seems to get a good figure when it seems like he should be the easiest one to figure out of the triple changers. So I'm eager to see what you guys think, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.
Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.